If you followed some of the other videos on my channel, you know that I'm a really strong believer in people coming here and renting for a month or two before they make any kind of decision about living here. I've had too many clients who literally have never been here, and they have flown in on Tuesday night and wanted to start looking at houses on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. And I just don't think that's fair to you. Because I think you have to decide whether you want to live here. And some of my videos talk about the negatives of living here, or at least the things that you will do differently than you do in the US or Canada or Europe. But I think you need to give yourself a time where you are here, walking the streets, having dinner, going to live music, going into a bar and having a drink, where you're not thinking about cost per square foot and how this would work. So I've been a strong believer in that from the very beginning. And I also have come to believe in the last year or two that for so many people, long-term rentals are an excellent choice, and maybe even the best choice. And what I'm told now is that there's an enormous list of people who are waiting in line to pay $1,000 or $1,200 a month. And there is an enormous list of houses that are available for rent for $2,000 to $2,500 a month. And so we will see how this all, works itself out over this next year. But in the state of Guanajuato, a lease up to 5 years does not have to be recorded. If it is over 5 years, it must be recorded to be legal. And this creates certain tax issues that almost all landlords are not willing to accept. But you can have extensions, so you can come down here and sign a 5-year lease with an extension for another 5 or 5 beyond that. And I think for a lot of people, this is a very good choice. A number of people come here and they do move on after a while. And some people come here and because of life changes or illness of family members, they go back. And in Mexico, the common structure is you pay first month, last month, and 2 months of deposit. So if in the middle of your 5-year lease, it will cost you 3 months to break it, and you can go home. And I personally think if you were ill, you should not go home. And I've talked about this in other videos. I think you will get far better medical care and far kinder medical care than you will get in the U.S. And I will tell you personally that of the 3 people I know who returned to the U.S. with sickness and who wanted to be near their children and felt that their children would give them support in this process, none of them have gotten anything from their children. I mean, and I don't really say that to criticize, because I realize if you are 40 years old and you have 4 children, life is full. And it's difficult to suddenly take your 70-year-old parents and go sit with them for an hour on Wednesday night, especially if they live an hour or 2 away by car and so on. And so this whole question of people leaving and going, and I have one friend who was pressured by her son to go and live with him in Los Angeles, and so she now lives with, he's actually her stepson, she lives with his biological mother who has advanced Alzheimer's. So this wonderful woman who's brilliant and funny and ran a very, very important art gallery in Detroit spends all day long with caretakers and a woman who's been out of her mind for several years. So my argument is definitely you're likely to have a better deal here. But whatever your choice, renting is pretty great. And we've had a real turn in the market because so many people had so many houses on Airbnb and vacation rental by owner, and then those people were just crushed by the COVID experience and just lost all their bookings. And some of them, many of them, maybe a little less than a year ago, decided to go to long-term rentals. But there is a significant long-term rental market here. You may have to look a bit, and you may especially have to kind of put yourself forward if what you want is a 3-year lease or a 5-year lease. But it's very doable. It's somewhat less doable for furnished places, but there are places that will rent you furniture, and there are places where you can, you know, acquire furniture and really have the fun of furnishing. But you don't have to buy here to be happy, and especially for single people, I think it's just a joy to be in a rental and not be responsible for anything. And many of them were done up so well for the Airbnb crowd that if you were able to get a long-term rental, it is about as nice as they come. So I would suggest that you consider this as an option if you are thinking about coming to San Miguel. And perhaps if you rent for 2 or 3 or 4 years, you may wish to buy at that time. But people of our age, my age, have a life of ever escalating property prices, and we've all had gains and occasionally a loss, but mostly gains on property. And I don't think you really need to pursue that. I mean, you should make yourself happy in your golden years, and there are a lot of great places where you can do that, and a lot of landlords that will be wonderfully helpful to you in establishing a long-term rental agreement. So please consider that as one option for the future if you are coming here. If you find a home you want to buy, great, buy it, but be open to the possibility that a nice long-term lease will fulfill so many of your needs and remove some of your problems. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. I really appreciate it. If you have any kind of questions or comments, please convey them to me. I'm especially interested in questions you may have that I can answer in future videos. And of course, my name is Ben Petrie. I am a real estate agent in San Miguel de Allende, and I would be delighted to work with you on any of your buy or sell issues going forward.